Have you ever looked in the mirror and seen a slight change, a new line, or a different expression staring back at you, and felt a tiny jolt of surprise, or maybe even a little something else, something unspoken? We hear so much about the golden years, about retirement full of leisure, and while there's certainly truth to that beautiful vision, there are also whispers, uncomfortable truths that often go unsaid. Nobody really likes to talk about the trickier, less glamorous parts of getting older. Do they? It's as if admitting them somehow diminishes the joy or makes us feel vulnerable. But what if bringing these realities into the light, acknowledging them honestly, is actually the key to living with more peace, more intention, and even more happiness? What if understanding these unspoken challenges helps us navigate them with grace, rather than being blindsided in this conversation today? We're going to gently pull back the curtain on 5 harsh truths about getting older that very few people dare to tell you. These aren't meant to scare you, but to empower you, to help you prepare, adapt, and truly live every stage of life to its fullest. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I promise, there's something important, something truly surprising, waiting for you that will change your perspective entirely. Let's dive right into the first truth, one that often catches us off guard because we've lived so long in a body that felt, for the most part, reliable and familiar. The first harsh truth is this: your body will change in ways you don't expect or like, and it's not always fixable. For decades, many of us have relied on our physical selves, perhaps for work, for hobbies, for simply moving through the world with ease. We took for granted that our knees would bend without complaint, that our backs would support us tirelessly, that our energy levels would bounce back after a long day. Then, one day, you might notice a persistent ache that wasn't there before, a stiffness that refuses to loosen, or a level of fatigue that feels entirely new. Maybe your balance isn't quite what it used to be, or your eyes need more light, or your hearing isn't as crisp. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they can be deeply unsettling. The harshness lies not just in the physical discomfort, but in the emotional toll it takes. There can be a sense of betrayal, a feeling that your own body is letting you down, perhaps even a grieving for the physical self you once knew. You might compare yourself to your younger days, or to others who seem to defy the years, and a wave of frustration, or even sadness, can wash over you. The truth is, modern medicine and health advice offer amazing tools, and we absolutely should embrace healthy habits, stay active, and eat well. But there are some changes that are simply part of the aging process. Changes that are not easily reversed or fixed. We might spend energy, time, and money trying to regain what was, only to find that some things are now simply different. The harsh reality is that a truly pain-free, wrinkle-free, endlessly energetic body like you had in your 20s is unlikely to return. Trying to fight this inevitability too hard can lead to disappointment and a constant sense of falling short. So, what's the secret here? It's about shifting your perspective from fighting to adapting, from striving for perfection to embracing optimization. It means acknowledging these changes without despair, and instead, focusing on what you can do to support your body now. Can you still walk? Even if you can't run a marathon, absolutely. Can you find gentler forms of exercise that bring you joy and maintain mobility, like swimming, gentle yoga, or Tai Chi? Of course, can you nourish your body with wholesome foods that support energy and well-being, even if you can't eat everything you used to without consequence? Yes. The wisdom of getting older often lies in learning to listen to your body, truly listen, and respond with compassion rather than stubbornness. It means finding new ways to experience physical joy and capability, perhaps through gardening, dancing in the kitchen, or just enjoying a peaceful stroll. The aim isn't to turn back the clock, but to make the most of the time you have. with the body you have right now. It's a profound shift from demanding your body be what it once was, to appreciating what it still is and what it can still do for you. This journey of acceptance and adaptation frees up so much mental and emotional energy that might otherwise be spent in futile struggle. It's about living gracefully with change, finding new expressions of strength, and recognizing that true vitality comes from within, not just from what your muscles can lift or how fast you can move. Now, as we navigate the landscape of life, we also notice shifts in another fundamental area: our relationships. This brings us to the second harsh truth: your social circle will inevitably shrink, and loneliness can become a very real challenge. Think about it. When we're younger, our lives are often structured around built-in social connections: school, college, starting a family, demanding careers, raising children, all bringing us into contact with a constant stream of people. Our social calendars are often packed, and our circle of friends feels vast and ever-present. But as we get older, many of these structures naturally fall away. Retirement means leaving the daily camaraderie of colleagues. Children grow up, move away, and start their own lives, reducing the need for constant interaction with other parents. Friends, unfortunately, may move far away, become ill, or pass on. The pool of readily available people for casual connection often diminishes. This isn't a reflection on you or your ability to form relationships. It's simply a natural progression of life. But the harshness comes from the emotional impact. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected, unseen, or unheard. It's the ache of missing shared histories, of no longer having that spontaneous cup of coffee with a longtime friend, or the void left by a loved one who is no longer there. Society sometimes implies that loneliness is a sign of failure, that if you're alone, you must have done something wrong. This couldn't be further from the truth. But that underlying narrative can make it even harder to admit you're struggling with it. So, what can we do when this natural shrinking occurs? The power lies in being intentional and proactive, but also realistic. It's not about frantically trying to replace every lost connection, but about nurturing the ones you have with more depth and care, and seeking out new connections in ways that genuinely resonate with you. This might mean making a conscious effort to schedule regular calls or visits with remaining friends and family. It could involve exploring new communities centered around shared interests, whether it's a book club, a walking group, a volunteering opportunity, or even an online forum dedicated to a hobby you love. It's about quality over quantity, about seeking out genuine connection rather than just filling a space. Perhaps you find joy in mentoring someone, or engaging with younger generations. And importantly, it's also about learning to be comfortable, even content. In your own company, solitude isn't the same as loneliness, and developing a rich inner life, pursuing personal passions, and enjoying quiet moments can be incredibly fulfilling. However, recognizing when solitude tips into genuine loneliness is key, and at that point, reaching out, even if it feels vulnerable, is a sign of strength. It's about building a robust social safety net for yourself, one that is diverse and adaptable, understanding that human connection remains vital at every age, even if the forms it takes evolve over time. This truth reminds us that actively cultivating our social well-being is just as important as our physical health. Moving forward through life's journey, beyond our physical selves and our social circles, we often encounter a profound shift in our very sense of self. This brings us to the third harsh truth: you'll face profound questions about purpose and identity when traditional roles fade. For much of our adult lives, our identity is often closely tied to specific roles, our careers, our status as a parent, a spouse, a caregiver, a community leader, or even our physical capabilities. We are the engineer, the mom who always organized the school fair, the one who takes care of everything, or the avid hiker. These roles give us structure, a sense of belonging, and a clear understanding of our value and contribution. But as we age, Many of these roles naturally diminish or disappear entirely. Retirement means leaving the workplace where you spent decades building expertise and relationships. Children grow up, move out, and no longer need daily guidance. Shifting your role as a parent, a spouse or loved one may pass away, leaving a void that impacts your identity as a partner. Physical limitations might prevent you from pursuing hobbies or activities that once defined you. The harshness here is the sense of being adrift, of asking, who am I now that I'm not X, Y, or Z? It can feel like losing a part of yourself, like the script you've been following for decades suddenly has blank pages. This can lead to feelings of emptiness, a lack of direction, or even a quiet despair. Society doesn't always prepare us for this existential recalibration. It often focuses on what we do rather than who we are beyond those roles. So, how do we navigate this deep questioning, this transition? As challenging as it can be, is actually an incredible opportunity for reinvention and self-discovery. It's a chance to shed expectations and explore aspects of yourself that were perhaps dormant or put on hold. It means consciously seeking out new forms of purpose and meaning. This could involve volunteering your time and wisdom to causes you care about, where your experience is invaluable, even if your old job title is gone. It might mean delving into creative pursuits you never had time for before. Painting, writing, playing an instrument, or learning a new language. It could involve mentoring younger individuals, sharing your life lessons and guiding them, finding purpose in passing on knowledge. Perhaps it's about reconnecting with nature, finding solace and profound meaning in the simple rhythms of the earth. The key is to shift your focus from external validation and achievement to internal fulfillment and contribution. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be found in small, daily acts of kindness, in fostering deeper relationships, in intellectual curiosity, or in simply appreciating the beauty of the world around you. It's about understanding that your identity is not fixed by what you did, but by who you are, a person with unique wisdom, experiences, and an ongoing capacity for growth and joy. This stage of life invites us to define ourselves from the inside out, creating a new, more authentic, and often more profound sense of self that isn't dependent on external circumstances. It's about embracing the being over the doing and discovering that the richest parts of you are only just beginning to truly blossom. Now, as we consider our internal landscape, there's another facet that often causes quiet anxiety for many of us as we get older. And that's the fourth harsh truth: your mind might play tricks on you. And memory isn't always reliable. For most of our lives, our minds have been our most dependable tools. We've relied on our sharp memory for facts, names, dates, and detailed instructions. We've prided ourselves on quick wit, problem-solving abilities, and the effortless recall of information. But then, slowly, subtly, things might start to feel different. You might find yourself searching for a word that's right on the tip of your tongue, or walking into a room and forgetting why you went there. Names that were once instantly recognizable might now require a moment's pause, or even complete blankness. You might misplace your keys more often, or forget an appointment you just made. The harshness here isn't just the inconvenience. It's the underlying fear. The fear that these small lapses are signs of something more serious, something irreversible, something that takes away our very essence and independence. We worry about losing our sharpness, our ability to engage, or becoming a burden. Society often equates mental agility with youth, and subtle cognitive changes can feel like a profound threat to our self-perception and our future. This fear can be paralyzing, causing us to withdraw or to constantly scrutinize our own minds. But here's the important nuance: while serious cognitive decline is a real concern for some, many of the memory quirks we experience as we age are perfectly normal. Our brains are complex, and as we get older, processing speed can slow down, and retrieving information might take a bit more effort. It's like a vast library where the cataloging system is a little older and needs a moment longer to find the right book. It doesn't mean the books are gone. It just means the search takes a different pace. So, what's the path forward when your mind feels like it's playing tricks first? It's about understanding the difference between normal age-related changes and signs that warrant a doctor's visit. Don't hesitate to talk to your doctor if you have persistent concerns, as early diagnosis for any condition is always best. Beyond that, it's about actively nurturing your brain health and being kind to yourself. Just as we discussed physical adaptation, mental adaptation is key. Engaging in mentally stimulating activities, learning a new skill, playing brain games, reading, engaging in stimulating conversations can help keep your brain agile. Nutrition plays a huge role. Consider foods rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and vitamins that support brain function. Prioritize quality sleep, as your brain consolidates memories and clears waste during deep rest. Managing stress is also critical, as chronic stress can impact cognitive function. And remember, social connection and physical activity also have powerful benefits for brain health. It's also about developing strategies using notes, setting reminders, creating routines, and embracing memory aids without shame. Most importantly, it's about accepting that your brain might work a little differently now, but it is still profoundly capable, wise, and filled with a lifetime of invaluable knowledge and experience. Your worth and your identity are not solely defined by the speed of your recall, but by the richness of your thoughts, the depth of your understanding, and the kindness of your spirit. This truth encourages us to appreciate the incredible organ that is our brain, support it actively, and redefine what mental sharpness means as we gain more years and more wisdom. And finally, we arrive at the fifth harsh truth, one that perhaps encompasses all the others, and that is time truly speeds up. And there's a growing, often unsettling, awareness of limited days. When we're young, time stretches out before us like an endless horizon. A decade feels like an eternity. We make long-term plans, assume we have all the time in the world to achieve our dreams, resolve conflicts, and spend time with loved ones. But as we get older, there's a distinct shift. Days, weeks, and even years seem to vanish in the blink of an eye. You might look back at a holiday from just a few months ago, and it feels like a year has passed, or reflect on events from a decade ago, and it feels like last week. This perception of time accelerating is a common experience as we age, and it's often accompanied by a heightened awareness of our own mortality. The harshness here isn't about death itself, but about the increasing realization that our time on this earth is finite. It can bring with it a sense of urgency, a feeling of regret for things not done or words not spoken, or even anxiety about running out of time to fulfill certain desires. We might become acutely aware of the ticking clock, and that can be a source of profound sadness, pressure, or a deep yearning for more moments. This truth can be unsettling because it forces us to confront the ultimate reality of life, which is its finite nature. We can no longer assume an infinite runway of years stretched out ahead. So, how do we integrate this profound, sometimes uncomfortable truth into our lives in a way that's empowering rather than despairing? The answer lies in transforming this awareness into a powerful catalyst for intentional living. When time feels precious, we learn to prioritize what truly matters. This isn't about rushing frantically to tick off a bucket list, but about living each day with greater presence and purpose. It means choosing meaningful connections over superficial ones. It means embracing joy in small moments, a beautiful sunset, a warm cup of tea, the laughter of a loved one. It's about letting go of grudges that weigh you down, releasing the need for perfection, and forgiving yourself for past mistakes. This heightened awareness of limited time can motivate us to finally pursue passions we've deferred, to mend fractured relationships, or to simply savor the here and now. It's about recognizing that our legacy isn't just about what we accumulate, but about the impact we have on others, the love we share, and the wisdom we impart. It encourages us to make conscious choices about how we spend our energy and attention, focusing on what brings us genuine fulfillment and contributes to the world around us. Instead of fearing the fleeting nature of time, we can embrace it as an invitation to live more fully, more authentically, and more gratefully in every moment we are given. This truth, perhaps more than any other, has the power to transform the way we experience our later years, making them richer, deeper, and more profoundly meaningful. So, we've walked through 5 truths that aren't always easy to hear: that our bodies will change in ways we can't always control, that our social circles may naturally shrink, that our sense of purpose and identity will evolve, that our minds might work a little differently, and that time itself seems to accelerate. Acknowledging these realities isn't about dwelling on negativity, quite the opposite. It's about empowering ourselves with awareness, with the foresight to adapt, to pivot, and to find new wells of strength and joy. It's about understanding that these aren't flaws in the grand design, but natural aspects of a long, rich life. You are not alone in experiencing these shifts. Every person who lives long enough will encounter some, if not all, of these truths. And the beauty is, when we share these experiences, when we talk about them openly, we find common ground, support, and new ways to navigate them. Remember, small shifts in perspective can make an enormous difference in how you experience your days. Age isn't a decline, it's a profound transformation, a period of shedding what no longer serves you and embracing new facets of who you are. This is a time for wisdom, for deeper connections, and for finding peace in the ongoing flow of life. I'd truly love to hear your thoughts on these truths. Which one resonated most deeply with you? Or perhaps you have a harsh truth of your own that you've learned to navigate with grace. Please share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your wisdom can be a light for so many others. If this conversation resonated with you, if it offered you a moment of recognition or a new perspective, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps our channel grow and reach more people who need to hear these honest, encouraging messages. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on more insights to help you navigate this incredible, evolving journey of life. Remember, every single day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to embrace the richness of who you are. Right here, right now. Live your best life, not just for the years you have, but for the depth and joy you can experience in each and every moment. You are stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you know. Keep thriving,